people who run law firms, managing partners and finance directors. Please suspend reality for a few minutes and imagine you fulfill one of these roles. I would like to introduce Barry Wilkinson, who used to be a finance director turning businesses around. For several years, I specialised in working with law firms who operate on a human scale, helping them become more successful and profitable. It has been said that Barry is one of the few non-lawyers who command sufficient credibility within the legal world to make lawyers sit up and listen, and he has the ability to put across complex issues in simple terms. So, please welcome Barry Wilkinson.
Every lawyer knows that October the 6th, 2011 is a vitally important day. That's the day on which the legal market in the United Kingdom deregulates, and 80% of the work which lawyers currently do will be open for anybody. The terminology is alternative business structures. That means any organisation. The flip phrase is Tesco law. So all the protection that they previously had has gone. Now, you know and I know that that's going to result in immense change, and that's going to be inevitable. What we found, talking to Chris Kenny, who's in charge of the Legal Services Board, is that about 80% of other partners either don't really understand what's coming or think it's not going to happen to them. And that's a very dangerous situation. What we do know is that we're not just going to get deregulation. We've had 25 years of deregulation. We've had it in accountancy, we've had it in surveyors, we've had it in the opticians world, and we've had it in Big Bang in the city and so forth. We know what happens when markets deregulate. But there's going to be a triple whammy. Because there are going to be three forces at play here. Not just deregulation, it's also going to open up to the full force of global competition. You're going to have competitors in the Far East and India. For example, there are now more qualified legal graduates in India qualified in English law than there are solicitors' jobs in England. And they're prepared to work for $6,400 a year. They're looking for UK jobs. And that's going to be accelerated by the emergence of technology, which means that they can do the work in Bombay that you're currently doing in Bromley. So, all of those things are going to come together, and the effect is going to be multiplied. What you have to do, in the words of Willie John McBride, since you can anticipate what's going to happen, is get your retaliation in first. Okay, that would be a tough ask of any chief executive. But for a managing partner in a partnership, there's an additional problem. Because if your partners don't get it, they won't let you fix it. And not fixing it could actually cost your firm its independence. And independence, for many, is the name of the game. Professor Stephen Mason has said on many times over the last year or two, we have historically always tended to look at the legal profession and the legal market as being synonymous. In fact, there isn't just one legal profession or one legal market. There are tiers to this. There are very successful London commercial firms. There are the still successful and profitable provincial firms, and what people tend to look down on, the bottom end of the market, are what they call legal factories that are doing one-off transactions and processing like conveyancing and debt collection and so forth. And then they're all still run by the legal profession. The other little bits are like things like will writers, licensed conveyancers, and so forth. So it's just a little bit at the moment that's not quite. We know what happens when markets deregulate. We know what happens when low-cost competition comes in. What happens is the market expands. People come in with new, lower cost, better value offerings, very innovative, and they expand the market. But they expand it at the bottom. There's then another phase. Because that's kind of good news if the market's great. There's then another phase. Because they get better, they get more confident, they've got clients, they push up into the territory which is currently occupied by people like yourselves. And then there's a natural reaction. In pretty much all markets, the same thing happens. The existing incumbent firms get into their bunker. They merge, consolidate, try and cut overheads, and so forth. Now your issue there is, if you're ready, you can merge on your terms. If you're not prepared, you can be forced into mergers on somebody else's terms. But the dynamics are a little bit more complicated than this, because if we look at the market as a whole, we have got two pressures forcing down on the firms in the middle. We have the big city firms who are going to be able to look after themselves. There is no question they've got the power, they've got the ability to look after themselves, and they will push down. They'll go down to the biggest firms will go down to the next level, and they'll push down to the next level, and they'll be putting pressure on you. At the same time as you've got these enormous forces working up from the bottom, from people who are overseas, got much cheaper people, much better technology, forcing a squeeze. Or as we've christened it at Wilkinson Reed, it's the gastric band. Now, there are one or two areas of opportunity. There's opportunity at the bottom of the market. There will be opportunity from the cast-offs of what the big boys decide not to take. The big point is the area where you're currently comfortable, where all your partners would like to say, isn't a comfort zone, it's a danger zone. So, what are your options between now and October the 6th? From what I can see, most lawyers would actually want to do the first one. They'd actually want to do nothing. Wait and see and hope that it all turns out right in the end. You could try defending the territory you already know. And it will work for a time. You know, people are still surviving in Beirut despite all of the pressures there. But that territory is shrinking and it will get tougher. And you've got to be good to survive. You could strike out and find new areas, new specialism. Or, what I suspect will happen in many firms, because the predictions are 30% of you won't be here in 3 years, individuals or firms will just get out whilst the going's good. Point is, there are no easy answers. What you have to do are 4 things. Firstly, you've got to make sure that they all get it. You've got to brief them, you've got to make sure that all of your colleagues understand what's going on, because if they don't get it, they won't let you fix it. And then you've got to do the 3 Ds. You've got to debate, you've got to decide, and then you've got to do it. And as one of my clients, Steve Penny, says, don't duck the debate, it could cost you your independence. So, you get it, do your partners get it? If your partners do, fine. If they don't, we're here to help. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Lovely.